Hey guys, welcome to my review for chapter 89 of Attack on Titan. So this chapter reminded me a lot of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This was a really interesting chapter. It did what I expected. We got to see how everyone else is going to be reacting to all this news that they found in Grisha's basement. It was really nice to see just because the past several chapters have been backstory. And the backstory has been amazing, but I was really interested to move on and see what was going to happen. So we finally get Ymir's backstory. And oh god! Oh man! So Ymir writes a letter to Historia where she basically explains where she came from, and we got to see it with... We didn't get all that much detail on her backstory, but we got enough to piece together what really happened. So she lived over on the mainland, she was this poor orphan child, and then one day some dude found her, renamed her Ymir, who was that person who thousands of years ago did the Titan power, you know, all that crap. And there was this cult who thought she was the real Ymir Fritz, and worshipped her. But I guess apparently they got exposed and she got arrested, she was stoned, all this horrible crap. And then we see she got banished over the Parody Island. They took her up onto the wall, injected her with the serum, kicked her inside. And apparently she's there for a long ass time. She just spends decades as a mindless Titan until she comes across Reiner and Bertolt and some other dude that was with them. So she devours this other dude, who I guess was a Titan shifter. And this of course turns her back into her human form. The only question I really have is why didn't they fight back against her? I mean, if this dude was a Titan shifter, was about to get eaten by Ymir, why didn't he turn into a Titan at the last minute? I mean, maybe they just didn't want to waste their powers, but I mean, that, you know, that seems like something he would have done. But either way, this explains why Ymir was sort of hesitant to go with them, and why she never seemed fully on their side, and I guess it was because she was never really on their side, she just, like, came across them. Because, I mean, when you think about it, she should be against Reiner and Bertolt's people, because they did this to her. So I guess she infiltrated the wall with them, but she was never really on their side like Annie was. We still don't really know what the deal with Annie is. So yeah, that's how Ymir showed up, and she mentioned the letter, how she regrets going with them, how she wanted to stay with Historia, how she wanted to marry Historia, you know, all that. The thing is though, Ymir said that she would be dead by the time Historia is reading this. Now, I'm not really sure what to make of this, because when I first thought of it, I was like, oh, her time as a Titan shifter must almost be up. But then I think back, I'm like, wait a minute, she becomes a Titan shifter when Reiner and Bertolt were Titan shifters and 13 years hasn't passed yet. They should still have plenty of time left. So that leaves the question of whether or not she is actually dead and why she would say that. And people have already theorized that she is dead because we just haven't seen her at all. So yeah, it was really interesting learning more about Ymir, who we haven't heard anything from in forever. And then of course we get to see Historia finally reunite with the Survey Corps, and they have a meeting with all the higher-ups about what they found in Grisha's basement. Now they were talking about this coordinate ability, how Grisha ended up entrusting it to Eren. He completed his mission, he ate the royal family, then he got Eren to eat him, so now Eren has the coordinate powers, which they thought could only be used by members of the royal family, but then they remember that Eren was actually able to use them before. And he comes to this conclusion himself. He was like, yo, this happened when I was fighting the Smiling Titan, who, as we know, was a member of the royal family. He's like, well shit, what if I devoured a member of the royal family? Then I could use the coordinate again. And this is when he shouts out, he freaks out, he's like, oh my god, could it be? But then he doesn't say anything, because he's like, well crap, what would happen to Historia if I told these guys this? Because they'd be like, oh well crap, there we go, the only way to save the world is to have Eren eat Historia. And he, of course, doesn't really want that to happen. So that's interesting. Eren may end up having to eat Historia. And I wonder if everyone would be okay with that. And what got me excited is that they're like, listen, the only way we can really fight these guys is if we use the coordinate powers on the Wall Titans. Like, how friggin' epic would that be? For them just to wake up all of the Wall Titans and then just like burst out of the wall. That would be the coolest thing of all time. But like I mentioned not too long ago, we still don't really know what's going on over in the mainland. Like in the story, it's been like 20 years since we've seen what's been going on over there. So that'll be really interesting to see if we get to see like modern day Eldia. Then we get a little more conversation between Grisha and Kruger. And the ending of this chapter confused the crap out of me. He was just telling Grisha more of what he has to do, and he's like, listen, you gotta do this, you gotta save Armin and Mikasa. And when he said that, I'm like, what? And then Grisha's like, well, who are these people? And then he's like, oh, I don't know, maybe there's someone else's memories. And then the text there, before it said to continue the next issue, they're like, oh, the endless battle continues. I'm like, what is going on? I have no idea why he would bring up Armin and Mikasa, who were not born yet. Like, that just seems so weird, and I have no idea what to make of it. I'm sure people are going to come up with some crazy theories, but I just don't know what to say. I'm kind of getting a headache just trying to think of what that could mean. But either way, those were my thoughts for this chapter. It was a really exciting chapter. Cannot wait to see what's going to happen now. Things are getting insane. And with that, you can leave your thoughts and theories in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video.